Welcome to the Cartel.ie Rally of the Lakes. We're on a world-renowned stage right now, of course, Moll's Gap behind us, which will be a buzz with people on the opening test. Stage 1 kicks us off here on Saturday morning. They're celebrating the 40th anniversary of this event, and this is where legends are made. After months of build-up and excitement, we are finally ready to kick off the 40th anniversary in style. The start proceedings taking place in the heart of Killarney, which was filled with people soaking up the atmosphere and taking advantage of the beautiful weather. And they may have been there to see a few rally cars and stars too. A big weekend ahead for championship leaders Craig Breen and Killarney-born Paul Nagle.
I don't think I've ever been as excited for a rally in my whole life. These are second to none stages here, and I really can't wait to get going. It's a hugely important event for Paul. Of course, I'd love to win the rally as well, but I just can't wait.
Paul, do you feel like the whole town is behind you?
Yeah, it looks like it's me or Michael Fassbender at the moment, but yeah, there's great support here, and obviously a Kerryman has never won this rally, so that's an extra incentive to try and win it this year, so it'll be a good weekend for everyone, hopefully.
Expectations are high this weekend, as Alistair Fisher explains.
Obviously Uncle Birdie's been very successful here in the past. I'd certainly like to get my first big win here, to be honest, but it's certainly a tough event.
It certainly is a tough event, a huge challenge for the professionals, and joining them this weekend is Hollywood star Michael Fassbender. He was an ambassador for the event and will be behind the wheel of a Mark II Escort. You're no stranger to motorsport itself, are you?
No, I've sort of been doing a bit of circuit racing, but this is a totally different ball game.
And of course you've got someone else in the car with you, sitting alongside. Pace notes, pace notes coming out.
That's what that guy's doing, sitting beside me, talking to me the whole time.
When you were a younger man, then were you out watching the rallies?
Yeah, especially, during the 80s, it's such a huge event here. And it's great to see that we've, 40 years now this year. It's a real honour for me to be participating and also, as I say, ambassador this year.
Saturday morning and the pilgrimage begins as the fans flock to the legendary Moll's Gap, getting the best spot in the sunshine to watch as the competing field commit through the uphill sweeping curves. For Breen and Nagle, the morning could not have started better. Conditions were perfect and they were making the most of the incredible loop of stages. Kicked off by Moll's Gap, then into Ardgroom and Cod's Head. Watch on board and listen in to Craig's reaction at the very end.
And the crest and thread tightens and the slight left over big crest tightens the 4 plus through the dip, 20 slight left over crest tightens the 3 plus and flat crest and right and left over crest 40, watch early 2 left minus over big crest 30, flat 2 right maybe nips and left on crest and right tightens the 3 half long double tightens and 2 right minus tightens over crest opens through the finish tightens 100. What a stage, man.
They are the finest loop of stages that I've ever driven in my life. Absolutely. I know I always say that's the best one, that's the best, but they were the best too. I know we've got Healy Pass to go and do again, and glorious sunshine, people out enjoying themselves, having fun, and I've not had so much fun and so much enjoyment in a rally car, I think, ever, so it's good.
Alistair Fisher and Gordon Noble are second in the championship heading into this event. Alistair has already mentioned the family history with Bertie Fisher sealing 6 wins here, 5 of them consecutively. The morning loop went well for Fisher, slotting into second overall, just 12.6 seconds behind Breen. Bringing the pace he showed at the Easter stages was Callum Devine. He was denied a podium position in Northern Ireland, and you could certainly feel the urgency of his drive to right that wrong. At the end of the loop, he was third overall.
You have 60 for slowing crest into 3 left and 2 right into 2 left, continues and opens Repeat 2 left, continues and opens here to 2 right, minus through the dip. And shortage, 2 left over crest, keep on it, 40 down the middle, the hairpin left.
Desi Henry's form has been top-notch so far this season, with a great second place at the Easter stages. That form continued, third after stage 1, but dropping behind Divine to fourth after the morning loop. Our 2017 Irish Tarmac champions and 2-time winners of this event were back in action and up for the push. Sam Moffat in 5th overall, trying to catch Henry and fending off this man, Robert Barrable, who set competitive times during the morning to put him just 4.2 seconds behind Moffat after Cod's Head. There was drama for Josh Moffat on the opening tests. An off would put him out of the rally for the weekend. Last year's winner, Manus Kelly, is starting to find his feet with his Hyundai R5. He has 7 times winner of this event, Rory Kennedy, in the hot seat, so there is no lack of knowledge of the stages here. They were in 8th position, a great run on the ribbons of tarmac that drape over the coastline and make up Cod's Head.
2 left at the wall, and along 2 right, 60, short 5 left, short 5 left, and 2 right.
It was a disappointing morning for Daniel Cronin, who retired on stage 2 of the event. On the podium at the Easter stages, but running into problems on the opening day here, was Johnny Greer, who had Di Roberts sitting alongside him this time. Rear hub issues halted him on stage 2. They rejoined the rally only for the gearbox to force them to retire on stage 7. Also having a troublesome morning was Marian Evans. He lost his power steering on stage 3, got stuck on a corner and the hot exhaust caused a small grass fire. Very dramatic, but ultimately disappointing for the Welshman. The dynamic Skoda Fabia in the hands of David Guest was in 9th position at the end of the loop. Keith Lyons and Kerryman Brian Doherty completed the top 10 for us after a good morning's run in their Fiesta R5. Dennis Moynihan wasn't too far behind Lyons after the opening test, but a tough middle stage saw them drop back before catapulting back up the standings on stage 3. Making his R5 debut this weekend is 2018 Billy Coleman Award winner James Wilson. Let's find out how he's finding his new ride.
The car's awesome. It was unbelievable going up Mall's Gap for the first time in an R5 car, and it's a great pleasure to drive this car for Motorsport Ireland, and hopefully I'll do it justice this weekend.
In his brand new shiny Hyundai R5 this weekend is Joe Connolly. He tells us why he's decided to opt for the i20.
Obviously they've been doing very well in Ireland in the last year, so I'm liking the car. I'm very, very satisfied with it. We got it at about 4 o'clock on Friday. Sort of started on Miles Cap on Saturday morning, and we were here in the first Lakes Rally in 1979. I sat in with Bill as a navigator, so we're very fond of Killarney.
Let's get some modified action now. It was great to see Rob Duggan back behind the wheel this weekend, and he didn't disappoint. An astounding time on Moll's Gap, quicker than the majority of the R5 cars. He would have placed 6th overall in the international category. However, a puncture on Ardgroom dropped him from the lead of the national. Chris Armstrong also started strongly, 2nd after Moll's Gap. A great battle ensued during the day with Ender O'Brien, with Armstrong finishing the day just behind the man who was on a mission. Vincent McSweeney was blowing away the competition. A hugely committed drive would see him lead the modified at the end of the opening day. Michael Fassbender and Barry Goodman had got their first runs done here at the Rally of the Lakes. So how was our international movie star faring at his home event?
It was great. Fantastic feeling. Very nervous at the start of Mall's Gap. I was just saying there, I forgot that I could use both sides of the road. But once we got going, about a kilometre in, it just sort of, started to settle down, started to hear the notes correctly. So spectacular here today. I mean, it's really hard to beat. Cod's Head, wonderful. And the car is just handles so well. It's a beautiful machine.
The afternoon would deliver more of the same in terms of sunshine, and the stages were as magnificent as the weather. Healy Pass and Kilmacalogue joined Cod's Head and Ardgroom to challenge and delight the drivers. One of the biggest challenges this year is that the majority of the stages are run in reverse, so effectively it's new for almost everyone. Our championship leaders continued their stellar performance, amassing a lead of 24.9 seconds. It was clear that they were enjoying their rallying to the maximum.
Into stop, 4 left, minus double tightens, and 5 right, and 2 left, 30, late 4 left plus, short neat, 70, late 1 left, and care 3 up, minus tightens over crest, loose.
In second at the end of the day was Alistair Fisher. He'd switched to a short ratio gearbox at service to give him a bit more punch on the stages. He was keeping ahead of Callum Devine, but the fight was intense.
Line 1 left, stay in, 40, slowing early, 2 left minus, sudden 4 left minus over bridge, into 4 right plus, long, maybe slippy, into 2 left in, and 2 left into 2 right plus, stay in, line 3 left minus, tidy, 80.
Devine was really finding pace out on the stages, pushing as hard as he could in a bid to catch Fisher. The difference after 8 stages was just 6.6 seconds. We were being treated to a battle royale between the pair. At the end of the day, Desi Henry and Liam Moynihan were in 4th position and slipping away from the battles in front. They were 31 seconds adrift of podium position.
150 up the mid, don't, 150 up the mid, late flat 6 right and flat 6 left, 170, C narrow 5 right, C narrow 5 right and 6 left, 80.
Barrable had made it past Sam Moffat earlier in the day and was in 5th after the final stage at Kilmacalogue.
80 uphill loose, 3 left over crest at the top, and right over crest, 80 down, 2 left, into lane 2 right.
Cal McCarthy had a little bit of drama out on the stages in the afternoon. This slide wide smashing the rim and his tyre making a run for it. Even the dogs were in protest on that one. Let's watch again from our aerial shot. This is how it looks at the end of a stunning day here at the Cartel.ie Rally of the Lakes. Breen is out in front with battles raging behind. Fisher and Devine are entertaining us all, as well as Barrable and Moffat.
We've seen some great action this morning, but now we're switching to horsepower of a different kind, and time for us to take in the Killarney National Park. Join us after the break at the Cartel.ie Rally of the Lakes for more incredible action on the stages.
Welcome back to the Cartel.ie Rally of the Lakes, round 4 of this year's Irish Tarmac Rally Championship. The scenery here is breathtaking, and to watch rally cars blast through these unique and stunning landscapes is certainly a privilege.
It's the final day of the Cartel.ie Rally of the Lakes, and these guys are leading with 8 stages remaining.
Moll's Gap features twice today and kicks us off on a beautiful Sunday morning. Craig has talked about the pressure of delivering a win with co-driver Paul Nagel never having won his home event. That pressure did not show.
Nips narrows and flat 1 left opens, long nips keep in into late 1 right minus and flat 1 left and flat 1 right 120, late flat 1 left and long flat 1 right keep in 50, Late 1 left minus. OK 100, long flat 1 right, far 100.
However, it wasn't all plain sailing. They hit a deer during the morning tests. Their advantage over Fisher after stage 12 was just 14.9 seconds. Alistair Fisher and Gordon Noble were keeping their mechanics busy, replacing the short ratio gearbox for the long during the morning service, in a bid to keep ahead of a charging Callum Devine.
Slowing 2 left minus long, stay in under 3s, 30, bump, and a very tidy right minus over crest, the bid through bridge, 60, small crest, bump tidy, early left of mid plus over crest, 40, crest mid plus tidy into steady, small crest, early 2 left minus over crest, jump tidy, 60, steady.
Devine had the bit between his teeth and was driving out of his skin, reducing the gap to Fisher to just 0.7 of a second after a stunning drive through Moll's Gap, which just happened to be the quickest run of the whole weekend.
150 lane, 4 left to 4 right, keep into absolute 4 left minus. It's brave, try and carry on it. 160 lane, 4 right minus at the opening, try and carry on it into slight left, 200 up the middle.
It must be really motivating as a driver to be in such a brilliant battle.
No, we're delighted with our pace. Obviously up the gap, getting that award, the Bertie Fisher Award, Have Been Fast was a great achievement just to be on that speed. But yeah, to keep it going all weekend, it's been, yeah, we're happy.
Desi Henry started the day in 4th, but as you can see here, ran into a bit of trouble on the first pass of Sheen River. He dropped to 6th and was naturally frustrated.
Yeah, we lost time in the last stage there. We just we had a mark as an end and there was a rock sitting on it, so nipped the tyre and had to drive most of the stage with flat wheels, so lost a lot of time, but luckily we had a bit of a lead built up in the boys from in 5th and 6th place yesterday, so we're a battle now on to regain our position.
Yesterday, Sam Moffat wasn't quite on the money with his times. However, today, the former Irish tarmac champion was showing us the pace we know he can deliver.
What has changed then with the car? What's making you feel more comfortable?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We've made a lot of changes, and yeah, we're a lot more comfortable in the car, and we feel we can push on now. And yeah, I think our times are showing it. So it's going to be an interesting evening.
Manus Kelly was gaining more confidence and the times were reflecting that. Sunday morning got off to a good start and he was holding 7th overall. In the modified category, Vincent McSweeney continued to lead until the second pass of Moll's Gap, when his clutch gave out. Chris Armstrong had been putting McSweeney under major pressure through the morning and now led the National. Enda O'Brien was now up to 2nd, 55 seconds behind Armstrong after stage 12. Rally fans were keen to get a glimpse of all the action this weekend, and many piled into the service park to watch the mechanics at work. Let's catch up with the clerk of the course for the event now, Dermot Healy.
The competitors always make the event. They love competing here, but I have to say what sticks out this year is the ambassador for the event, Michael Fassbender, Hollywood star here from Killarney, actually taking part in the event. That's a massive coup.
Well, an absolutely massive coup, and that's all down to my deputy, Cormac Casey, who sent the email first day, and Michael accepted, and definitely a great coup for the event and a massive ambassador to our event for the 40th anniversary, so it all worked out perfectly for us.
As it is the 40th anniversary of the event, a special commemorative programme was created, which included the wealth of history the Rally of the Lakes is famous for.
You know, it is a very special year, but to go back through all that history, it must have been fascinating as well as hard work.
Well, it was. It was a very quiet room. A few of us gathered together and we started researching all the programmes, and you'd hear a pin drop in the room. Just everyone was just enthralled with this. And it was a bit like archaeologists. We were just finding something new. It was just incredible, absolutely incredible. Very, very enjoyable. Tough job, but it was very, very enjoyable.
Let's take a look now at the results roundup, starting with the modified category. Enda O'Brien had been within the mix of the top 3 throughout the weekend, but plummeted down the leaderboard on stage 14. Aidan and Shane Buckley were running as high as 2nd on the final day, but take away 3rd overall. An absolute man on a mission, Robert Duggan led after the opening stage, then dropped to 50th overall after a puncture. Red mist descended and he's propelled himself back up to take second overall. That was some drive. After a brilliant performance this weekend, Chris Armstrong and Gavin Doherty take the national win here in Killarney. Just when he was starting to get into his stride out on the stages, Manus Kelly went off into a field and failed to finish the event. Sam Moffat had been on pace and moved ahead of Barrable and was battling with Desi Henry for fourth. However, on the final stage, he clipped a bank and sheared a wheel. Let's take a look now then at the international top 10, starting with James Wilson on his debut in an R5 car. 10th position overall after a mature performance throughout the weekend. Taking the top Group N honours and continuing a successful season so far are Andy Davis and Michael Gilby, 9th overall. Father and son, Joe and Richard Connolly, put their brand new mark, the Hyundai i20, into 8th. Yes, that is an R2 car, well within the overall top 10. A super drive yet again from Will Crichton and Liam Regan on a hugely challenging event, 7th overall. We're used to seeing Dennis Moynihan competing in the Killarney Historic in a Mark 1 Escort. This weekend, though, he takes 6th in a Ford Fiesta R5. Into the big top 5 now, and it's Robert Barrable and Damien Connolly piloting their Skoda after many battles to 5th overall. Desi Henry and Liam Moynihan bounced back from the early puncture to take 4th. He scooped the Bertie Fisher Trophy for the fastest time through Moll's Gap and put huge pressure on Alistair Fisher throughout the event. Callum Devine and Brian Hoy take 3rd, their first podium in the ITRC this season. Showing their class again to take 2nd overall with a committed and focused drive are Alistair Fisher and Gordon Noble.
4 right minus into hairpin left plus 80. 2 left stay in 60. Slowing 4 left minus under bridge line, 5 right plus narrow stay in. Well done, well done, well done. Good bit of driving, young fella. Well done, hey.
The final few kilometres for our rally winners, Craig Breen and Paul Nagel. We can only imagine the emotion for Killarney man Paul winning his home event. A real dream come true and a superb result after a dominant drive.
Right minus double tightens, keep right, don't,
enjoy the
and finish. Thank you very much, my boy.
That's from our spot.
Fair play to you.
That's from our.
Time to celebrate their success and tell us their thoughts after a thrilling weekend.
Yeah, to get the win is fantastic. I'm so happy for Paul. You know, it was a massively important event for him, and to get the win is absolutely fantastic. So we had a perfect weekend, enjoyed it from start to finish, and yeah, things are pretty good.
Craig drove brilliantly all weekend, and it's a dream come true for me. It's a lifetime ambition since I was a kid to grow up here and win my home rally. So very proud man this weekend.
Here is the confirmation of the result, with Craig Breen and Paul Nagel claiming a rousing victory. Fisher takes 2nd overall and Devine 3rd. In the overall championship standings, Breen leads by 18 points over Fisher, with Desi Henry moving into 3rd overall.
What an incredible event it has been here at the Cartel.ie Rally of the Lakes. It's quite heartbreaking to leave the stunning scenery behind, but our next event beckons, and we are sure that Donegal are going to step up to the mark.